ending and making the move too soon, especially on a car, y'all. That's like the number one thing that we found, that when people contact and reach out, they want to purchase a car. So, like, what are some of the things? We're going to pretty much touch on some of the things that you can expect and how you can go about preparing yourself when you do walk into a car dealership. To make yourself have more buying power.
Right.
Because with the low credit score, you ain't got no buying power. It's non-existent. They want $15,000+ from you. And who got that time? You know, we are worthy. Sometimes too soon, I would say. We hit the trigger even when it doesn't make sense. Not us personally, but people in general. That's just how we're built. It's like, I deserve this because I do X, Y, Z. But listen, it got to make sense. So we're going to kind of teach you, like, okay, what can you expect when you're walking into a car dealership? Hey, y'all, what's up? There's some helpful tips in regards to a car dealership, like what you can expect from them.
Right. So one of the first things I want to point out is that whenever you need a vehicle, usually sometimes it's a need, but most times it's actually a want. And these vehicles are made to look nice for a reason. They're made to make you want to have them, and to be honest, for us as credit repairers, we actually like that though, because a lot of clients choose to start credit repair because they want a nice vehicle. Right. So let's just start talking those and what you should be doing. So the very first thing to do when you're considering getting a vehicle is know your credit score.
Know your credit score, y'all. That means you have checked it in some place, not Credit Karma, y'all. Credit Karma actually buys and sells your information, and they go based off of your Vantage versus your FICO score. So you want to make sure that you're checking a more accurate credit report so that you're not walking into there thinking that you have a 6-something and really your credit score is in the 5s.
Right. And many people probably ask the question of, where should my score be if I'm going to get a car? And the honest truth is that, like, there is really no set number in it. Usually car loans are looking for people that can afford to pay a car note. Right. Which means that sometimes you can get it approved with an unworthy score, but the fact that you just have room to pay them, they'll accept you. So as far as a car note goes, just understand that there is like no set score. I've seen people get approved for cars in the 400s. I've seen people, come out of there with zero interest with a 630 credit score. So it doesn't really matter, but just know your credit score so that then that means that I might have a little bit more options than what if I was coming there with a 400 or 500. Okay. And I'm speaking from personal experience here. My first couple of cars, it wasn't me going in and saying, hey, I like that one over there. I want that one. Mm-hmm. It was me going in, they being like, okay, Mr. Coleman, let me take you over here to this car because this is what I can get for you. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, that's literally how it is when your credit score is not where you know it should be. You're walking in and they're more so leading you. So that's what Lavera meant when she spoke about buying power. So know your credit score. So you can walk in there, either you're going to walk in there and this is what I'm expecting. Okay, so the second thing is, you want to know about the place that you are going to buy your car at, okay? A very key thing to consider is, where do they pull from, okay? Right? Now, I want to keep you guys keep in mind is that one dealership may have 20 banks that they pull from, okay? So you want to know, what lenders are they choosing and where do they pull from? Because if you know your Experian score is way less than your TransUnion score, I don't want you pulling from Experian because you're going to have my interest rate shot to the curb, right? So where do you pull from, okay? And also, if it's not like a new dealership, I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all can hear us, can you put the deuces up if you guys can hear us okay? I see it keeps saying that the internet is doing something here. The power was out in our area, so it could be a little crazy as far as the connection. But I definitely want to, if you can hear me, put the deuce signs up. All right, so as far as that, you want to know, where do they pull from? Now, if you're going to like a used car dealer, we got a lot to go and pay at the car lot. A very important question is, do you report to all 3 bureaus? Right. Okay. There is almost no point in paying on a monthly car note if it's not going to build your credit. Right. Okay. All right.
So you got to break it on down. You got to break that on down.
Say that one more time, Lavera. Say it.
All right, y'all. So what he means by that is, you'll see like on your credit report where your credit report is like three different numbers. Like, you're like, why my credit score is 6 here, 5 here, 4 here. And it may be off maybe 30 to 40 points. But what happens there is that not all companies report to all three credit bureaus. So you may end up with a car lot that only reports to one out of the three, which only one out of the three is building your credit. And so if you're trying to truly build your credit, that one account is supposed to help you in three separate areas, which is you got three credit scores, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. You don't want it to only be helping you on one credit bureau. That makes things, lopsided. Some things will be missing off one that's not on the other. That's missing on one that's not out. People like Global Lending. I know Global Lending, they report to all three. Exeter Finance, they report to all three. Like Capital One, just to name a few. But most of the bigger ones, they do report to all three. It's when you get those small companies. I don't know if Drive Time and all of those, depending on what they're doing, but the smaller ones, typically you have to question because it's certain paperwork that goes into you even setting it up where they can report to all three credit bureaus.
Right. So if you're going to go and spend all these thousands with them, the least they can do is report on your credit.
Right.
Because when you start building your credit, you want that. We used to run like, don't report on my credit. But now because we're changed people, right? Because we're chasing that credit worthiness, right? We actually want you to report because I'm about to pay y'all well. So I need y'all telling these folks how I pay so that I can get more money in the future. Okay. So on top of that, tell
about the trap, and I'm gonna talk about the trap.
Okay.
Listen, don't fall into the trap of like, I want a car just because it's my birthday, or y'all, I want, it's my birthday, I don't need a car. I just want another car, or just and then also let's please not talk about you getting on somebody else's car. Or being a co-signer of somebody else, because when they decide they don't want to be responsible anymore, then you take the hit for it. So just think about what you're doing. If you absolutely don't need a car, like that jump for the breakdown, then I would not recommend, especially if your credit score is not in a position for you to have any buying power. If you're going in there knowing your credit score, even I would say a 580 or below, like you want to just stop. Just stop. But if you absolutely need it, you have no choice. But a lot of times people are saying, I'm going to just go and I'm going to work on my credit and possibly refinance credit fee.
Right. So, speaking of that, as far as a car, right? Some people are kind of like, okay, so I got this 2-year plan or this 1-year plan. I'm going to get me a house. I'm going to get me a car. Which one do I do first? Okay. So that's a really, really good question.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to buying a house, right? Now that's the big goals. Okay. Cars are cool, but houses are the big goal, right? And I'm pretty sure most of us can agree with that. When you're purchasing a house, I want you to keep in mind is that they have a number on how much house you can afford. Okay. Right. They usually break that down in a month, right? And they're only going to use half of it. I'm not going to go into too much detail of that, around half of that, to determine how much home you can afford to pay monthly. But if you got that give me a nice car, Porsche. If you got that Porsche outside that you're paying $670 a month on, right? Okay, they're going to take that out of what you are able to pay per month. So let's say that you had $2,000 left, right? In your money, they're going to take $670 out, leaving you around $1,300 on top of whatever other car. Because you put that car on your credit, it is decreasing the amount that you can afford to pay in the house. So most people get the house first, then go and get the car, because they're not calculating the same way when you're going to buy the car. Right? So just keep that in mind as well when you're thinking about when do I buy a car, because I also want a car right now. I would love to have a truck. My family has grown, but it just doesn't fit into my plan right now. Right?
Priorities.
So that's it. So that's just something I want to put out there as well. Also, lastly, I want to talk about refinancing to where I am now. Okay? All right? So like reset, start this thing over, look at me now, and see if you can lower that rate, which will in turn lower my monthly payments. Okay? Y'all follow me? All right. So with the monthly payments lower, yes, that's a win. How does that affect the credit score though? Okay. And that is a question that we oftentimes don't think about, but because in credit repair, we get the questions like, man, I just refinanced this car, or I just paid this car off. Why did my score go down by 50 points or 40 points or 30 points? The thing is that credit has a category that's determined upon age. Okay? Age. meaning that how old is it, right? The older the credit, the better, right? Y'all ever hear that myth of that 20-year-old person that'll come tell you, I got an 800 in credit, 800 and some credit score. You know what? I would be glad to know how you did that so fast, right? Especially when some of the calculations take around 25 years. Can you explain to me how you did that, right? It's not easy getting an 800 credit score, okay? So tell me this, that first account and replaced it with a new account. Because when you refinance, they changed the account number. They gave you a whole nother deal.
Yep.
So now you got a new account replacing an old account, erasing the age on your credit report, which brought you down a few points.
Come on, break it down.
Okay? So that is a really, really, really big deal and something to consider when you're trying to grow that score to make them real big moves. Okay, so with all of that being said, I want to let you guys know that as far as getting a vehicle, yes, you can. Okay, as a matter of fact, getting a car honestly is. It's just a matter of how much are you paying for it. Okay, so you would like your score to be in a range that gives you power, and that's normally above 640 or 630 and above. You normally can make a few more moves with that. So I want to give you guys that, but if you need a vehicle, if you absolutely need a vehicle, if that's the way that you make your money, you got to get it done right now, then you got to do what you do. And then refinancing may become an option in the future, but remember that you're going to see a little bit of a dip, which could possibly either reset you building that credit score or set you back just a little bit, right? So, man, let me see if anyone got anything they want to ask here.
And y'all, anytime I'm sorry, did you have something?
You're good. I hope this was helpful to y'all.
So anytime you close an account, whether you have it paid, whether it's a car, because when you're refinancing, technically, if you're trading, so when they're refinancing, let me make sure I clarify this too, because like when people trade their cars in, they also have this same issue. So when they're trading the car in, they're closing the old account. And then, with the new car that you're getting, of course, that's going to be a new account number and out of that there. So any age that is associated with that car is like, it's not gone, but it's no longer an active account that is contributing to your credit score. Anything that you've done within the last 24 months are going to have a greater weight than what you've done outside of that. But when they close that account, right, when they trade their car in, it's the same concept, would you say?
I think so, but I can't really speak on that as far as like the expertise.
But I believe
I think she's right, but I'm not sure.
But and I'm just, because a lot of times people are thinking, like he said, if age is one of those things that you're kind of playing around with. Let's say you had this car for 5 years, you've never missed a payment, but the payment was sky high and you're paying a lot for it. Then just know that that's the effects of, that it's pretty much going to close that account and for you to get a new account with a new account number.
Right.
So I hope this helped y'all. Yeah. And we get a lot of questions in regards to just overall. Now, we're not experts in car dealerships
and car buying
and all of that.
And how they calculate all that.
Right. So we're going to make sure we clarify. But if y'all don't have any more questions for us, we're going to end this live. And I got a call that I'm late for.
Right. Gotcha. So you can go ahead. I'll close it out. All right, y'all. So when it comes down to the vehicles, just remember this. All right. First of all, know your credit score. Okay. Second of all, wherever you're going to buy that vehicle at, know how that company moves. Know what dealers what lenders they're going to be contacting. Know where those lenders pull from. Okay. All right. The next thing is when you're refinancing your vehicle, understand what that process looks like so that you can know how it affects your credit score. And notice that I'm talking a lot about how it affects the credit score. And the reason being is that credit is such a vital part of life that it needs that type of attention. Okay. I remember when creditors would call me and I'd be like, bro, you calling the wrong person, bro. I don't plan on paying y'all nothing. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, it's so important to me and so powerful to me that anything related to it, I'm on it. Right. So I just want to point that out to you guys is that buying a car, this is totally the season for it. Y'all going to see it all down your timeline. Everybody going to be getting big bows, gifts, and all type of stuff going to have cars attached. But if you have goal of such as buying a house, understand how this can negatively affect you in buying your home. You may be wanting that $170,000 house or that $240,000 house, but because you just added on a very nice car, you can only afford a $120,000 house. Okay. Just want to put that out there. All right, y'all. So that is it, man. I really hope this video helps. I didn't want to make it too long. If you have any questions, our inboxes are open. You can also email us at Coleman Financials LLC at gmail. 1-800-458-2797. Y'all, again, this is Chris Coleman. That was my wife, Lavera Coleman. We are the CEOs, owners of Coleman Financials Credit Repair, and we absolutely love doing this. Okay, so share this video if it helped you. Once again, any questions, contact us. Love you.